Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Espresso with me, Darius Manchauskas. Today is the 2nd of June, July already. So guys, so the first trading day of July. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this first trading day of this week as well. So we're gonna have a look at a few instruments that I think that could be the most of interest maybe for today, but before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content of this webinar does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Also, just a very quick reminder of our JFD Brokers website here, but specifically if you click here on research, it will take you to our little web page, which we update on a daily basis. We throw out different trading shoutouts, technical analysis, and of course we produce our daily report every morning. But today, because it's Monday, we produce our strategic report for the week ahead, so which you can get if you sign up here, register, and then just enter a few details and you can get it through your email. So okay guys, so but for now let's quickly have a look at the charts. So the first one I want to touch on, guys, is the DAX. Now, certainly last week was a bit of not a very good, let's say, week for the DAX. We saw this weekly candle closing in the red still. It kind of tried to recover a bit of lost grounds, but nevertheless, still it wasn't enough for the bulls to kind of drive it higher. So we're seeing this that the index is stuck here between these two key levels. The first one is of course the 12,260, and the other one is higher here, the 12,440. So approximately there. So for now, of course, this is the area to watch, the index to trade in, and certainly we're gonna a little bit higher, of course, towards this next good area of now resistance, the 12,000 and 12,600. Now I was talking about this level for quite a while now in my previous videos, and you can see that in the past it really kind of acted as a very key area of support here. So and then it got broken here on the 20th of June, and then we moved lower. But now again, like I said, if we get a nice move here, a pop above the 12,440 approximately there, we could see maybe a push higher here towards this 12,600. On the downside, well, we do have this key area of support here at around 12,260 approximately there, which acted as a very good area of support on Friday here. So if we get a nice move here lower, then we could expect this one maybe moving towards the last week's lows at around 12,100 mark. Now certainly a break below that could open the path towards this next key area of support at around 12,000, so we're approximately there. So the 12,000 psychological level could play out as well if we get a nice break here below. Just having a quick closer look at this one, like looking at the 4-hour chart, we can see that we could potentially position ourselves here, especially like I said, if we get a nice move here to the upside. Now if we do get a nice move here above this 21 EMA here on the 4-hour chart, we could end up testing this 12,440. But just like I said, stay sharp here, because maybe it could act as a good area of resistance again. We can see that this is what happened here last week, so keep a close eye on it. But if we start breaking it to the upside, and let's say the 4-hour candle closes above this, then well, we could potentially enter a position somewhere around here, and of course keep our stop loss very tight here, something like probably maybe putting it towards the 12,380 approximately there, in order just to kind of, if this reverses and this acts as a good area of resistance, then at least we could protect ourselves here. But if this makes a nice pop to the upside and we start moving higher, and once you're in profit, quickly shift your stop loss here, just slightly above that entry, and we could start aiming here for this level that I just was just talking about, the 12,600. And this way, I mean, you could at least kind of protect yourself if suddenly this reverses back down and moves back below the 12,440. Similar stories with the level here, the 12,260 that I was talking about. So yep, guys, I mean, it could play out nicely. We could end up trading this little range here. So yep, keep an eye on the price action here, and especially these levels. One commodity that I really wanted to touch on is silver. Now, silver, let's put a daily chart here. Certainly, we had a bad week last week as well on this one, and continued to push lower. We can see that finally it got broken out of this triangle formation, this symmetrical triangle formation. At the moment, it's looking quite bearish, I would say, and we could end up pushing lower here. Let me just jump back into the daily chart, and currently we're seeing this daily candle becoming more bearish, and we can see that the bears are really starting to hit this commodity from the early morning. Certainly the day has just started. Anything could happen. We could maybe see a reversal back to the upside, but nevertheless, I mean, at the moment we can see that we're stuck here in this little range. Let me just quickly highlight that. So this range right here could be of interest for us, because if we get a nice move here to the downside, let's say we start breaking this 15.925 area, approximately there, well, this could open the path towards lower levels, and especially the one to watch out for, slightly maybe more for the longer term, is the 15.625 area, so which was the approximately the low that we had here in December 2017. So a very good area to watch, but only if we get a nice break here below this 15.925 area. Certainly on the upside, we do have the 16.165, which was the high here that we had on the 29th, and certainly we could maybe see a nice move higher if we start breaking this area to the upside, and our next potential target could be this this lower side of the triangle that we broke out of last week. So good area to watch. But and if, let's say, suddenly if we get a miracle and this moves back inside this triangle, I mean, then, well, the downside could be off the table, and we could start examining maybe these higher levels again. Certainly the good one to watch. Let me just adjust this line a little bit. There we go. So let me just put it here, and let me just quickly round it up. So there we go. That's the next good potential area of resistance to watch, the 16.490. But of course, I mean, that's only if we get a nice move back inside this triangle. So for now, just judging by the way it's shaping up right now, I mean, it seems that we're going to get a touch of this 15.925 again, and this is where we should continue remaining cautious, as, like I said, if we get a nice break here to the downside, well, I mean, we could end up moving a little bit lower. You could probably play out here with a nice trade. Certainly, let's put a 4-hour chart a little bit here. So if you place an if you enter short here, let's say, then, well, just to kind of have your to be honest, I would probably recommendation here to keep your stop loss very tight, just because there is some potential for this one maybe to reverse back to the upside, just for a little bit of retracement. But nevertheless, I mean, at the moment, this is looking quite bearish, so we could maybe end up moving lower. And let's say if you've entered a position here, then you could quickly, if you're in profit, then I would strongly recommend to shift your stop loss straight away just before the your entry price, so that you could, you know, at least protect yourself if this reverses back to the upside. Let's have a look at a few pairs now. So the one that I want to touch on is the euro dollar, and the euro dollar is, well, let's say, at an interesting spot. Probably we're going to remain quite neutral in this one for now, because we can see this. This is a daily chart, by the way, guys, and we can see that we're now below this downwards moving trend line, or actually, let's call it actually more of a resistance line. So and we're below it still. We can see that today's daily candle managed already to test the the downside resistance line from underneath here. So we're stuck here between between this line right here, the 116,400, and this downwards moving resistance line. That's what the reason why I'm telling you guys to kind of for now stay sharp here and probably remain more neutral. Certainly if you wanna enter a trade here, just I would probably recommend to stay very cautious. If we get a nice break here above, I mean above this downside resistance line, doesn't really mean that straight away we're gonna start moving higher and hitting all these previous high levels. We need to see a nice move above the 117,250, probably especially a nice close on the daily candle in order to kind of start considering higher levels. But one thing to point out here is that even if it moves higher here, we do have a nice potential strong area of resistance at around 118,400. So this is where the pair could start like forming some sort of a range here where it could stick around for a while, let's say like that. We could start testing this, hitting this 118,400, maybe then getting a bit of a retracement back down. So that's the reason why I'm saying it's a bit tricky, but even though at the same time it's also like very interesting to see what it wants to do with this downside resistance line. On the downside on this one, if this continues to hold, this downside resistance line continues to hold, we could maybe see another push here to the downside here towards this 115,100, and we can see that this 115,100 kind of is continuing to act as a very good area of support here. And to be honest, if this suddenly breaks it to the downside, I mean it could potentially lead towards some further like stronger declines in this one, because just to point out, like I said, the importance here of this 115,100. I mean, it kept on banging it like for quite a while now, since around end of May, and if, like I said, if it breaks it to the downside, then well, I mean, this could open the path not only towards this 114,500 approximately there, but also towards this little low that we had here at around the July, around the 5th of July last year, and that's around the 113,100. So let me just quickly adjust that. There we go. So around the 113,100, but that's only, like I said, only if we start seeing strong moves here below this 115,100. Another pair that I really wanted to quickly touch on is the USD JPY. Now the USD JPY continues to get supported here by this upwards moving trend line. Certainly we can see that last week we had a few attempts of breaking that trend line, but still the price kind of closed above it and pushed higher. So now it's finding its resistance at around this 110.90 area. Certainly if this makes a move higher, we could end up seeing maybe a test of this 111,400 level, which was marked here by the highs that we had on the 21st of May. Certainly good area to watch, and of course it doesn't hold. Well, guess what? I mean, we do have a nice area here at around the 112. Now certainly this is more of an area, so it's probably more of a a center for all this, for this area. So I would probably say that it could end up maybe moving a little bit lower here, maybe even actually testing the 111.900, maybe even won't be able to reach the 112, but that's what I'm saying. So guys, keep an eye on this area. Let me actually just maybe highlight that for you as a potential. There we go. So as a potential area to watch, so it could look something like this. So yeah, guys, I mean, good area to watch, but only, like I said, only if we get a nice pop here above the 111,400. On the downside, I mean, if this suddenly reverses back down and makes a move towards this 110.250, certainly not all is lost for this pair yet, because we're still going to be above this upwards moving trend line. But if we start breaking it to the downside, we'll see a break of the 200 EMA potentially as well, and then of course if we start breaking this this upwards moving trend line as well, still be careful, because we might get a scenario something like this that we had here last week, and we could maybe see like something like a false breakout, and then the rate will move back up again, and this is the point where a lot of traders get like stopped out, and everybody's thinking like, oh yeah, great, it's going to move lower now, but still, I mean, they get stopped out because this reverses back to the upside and continues pushing, continues to move above this upwards moving trend line. So stay sharp, guys. Here, be very careful. Only like let's wait and see if this pair decides to close below this upwards moving trend line. Then we're going to be probably looking for some shorts here. So for now, certainly continue examining this upside potential, especially this area. Keep an eye on it, the 110.900. A nice break and a pop above this could send this potentially towards this 111.400. Okay, guys, I'll have to wrap it up here. I hope you found it useful. Please join me later on in my Trader's Tea Time. We're going to have a look at a few other instruments and potentially how to position ourselves around them. And but yeah, for now, I hope you have a good European session, and keep an eye on the price action. And thank you very much for watching and listening. Bye bye.